Luca Nation, back with our National Treasure series. We have a friend, someone who I respect a lot in the hobby, and someone who's doing big things in a space that's kind of, we use this word, adjacent to the hobby, but I don't always understand. So we'll use the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get some takes from Lar, learn how your TCG trade night went, which is super, super exciting, how your national experience was in your home state of Jersey, if there's anything we could do to make Atlantic City a nicer place, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, Lar, thank you for coming back.
Of course.
Second appearance. I think it always gets better. So
yes, thank you guys for having me. We always have a lot of fun. So
is that right? You had fun last time?
We have a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of fun.
You've done a few podcasts since this. I think Santiago's, right?
Yeah, I tell you guys all the time, I don't do many podcasts. So like, I like you if I'm coming on your podcast. We're family now.
That's huge praise. That's huge praise.
I'll start it right off with family, right? Because when we saw you at National, your mom was there. My favorite story, and I wish your mom was here so I could ask her. But she recounted.
I can get her.
She's gonna come in with lunch. She's gonna come in with lunch.
Yeah.
Bring the chicken and peppers, Mom.
I told her, do not bring me chicken and peppers during this live stream. It's being recorded.
It's good. I mean, listen, we all need that, right? The meatloaf. No, so we saw you, and your mom had just experienced what I'm going to call a little bit of, celebrity, right? You were online in Starbucks, and somebody asked for your autograph.
Yes.
Right.
My mom was like, she was standing there in the back like this. Like just so proud, no idea what's going on, by the way. Like I'm pretty sure she has like a minimal clue of really like what's happening, but everywhere I walked, whether it was outside of the show at a Starbucks or whatever, someone was like, I'm a huge fan, like can I take a photo with you, will you sign this, or my son's a huge fan of yours. And I think my mom's just like so proud, doesn't understand it. I don't really understand it, but obviously my content was reaching some sort of community that enjoys it. I'm able to like teach people and they appreciate it. So it was crazy. My mom got to witness it all for the first time.
We've had people on the show that say they don't love the newfound stardom that they've gotten. How have you felt about it? Like I think we've talked last time. You are more private. I don't think people see that, right? Like you are more introverted, private. You love your cats. Always the little photos of the cats. You and Lou Janouk cat photos. You love those.
Love him. Love his cat. Yeah. I am very private. I'm actually very quiet. It took me a very long time to be able to come on podcasts, first of all, on like talking to the camera while I'm filming and trying to get into like my comfortable personality that I've, have to portray all the time with this energetic, always on. Like I'm a very quiet, love sitting at home type of person. So yeah, it's definitely outside of my comfort zone. And you asked how I feel about like I can't call it stardom. I feel like that's crazy, but it's definitely weird. I never am someone that wants to be in the spotlight. Like I don't want to be on stage opening up the boxes with the cameras on me. It takes a lot out of me. But if I can help someone in the community and grow the community and get more like women in the community, it's worth it.
And give a shout out to your brother. He does a lot of the behind the scenes that I think people don't always see. Len, right?
Len, yeah. He is there. He's my lawyer. He's my business partner. He helps me. He helps me literally with quite literally everything. He's my security guard.
Talk to us. So you had it was Friday night, TCG, like a national Pokemon and table card game trading night. How did that go? Well, like expectations and then reality, because there's the prepping. And I always get like butterflies and I'm nervous. I think everything's going to go wrong. I think I even texted you like, good luck. I know everything's going to go great.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I was literally like this for the 2 hours before the show. I was like, I can't do this. My expectations were like here. And like, that's actually what happened. Like people, I couldn't believe it. People were lined up outside the door around the corner of Ton Tavern to get in an hour before the trade night started. Like I was completely like, I thought 10 people were going to show up. Like, honestly, I don't know, like the TCG presence at the National is obviously not as big as the sports presence. So I thought 10 people were going to show up. We hit capacity at the restaurant the instant the doors opened. So it was
Right.
more than I ever could have expected.
And you had the little
And you-
gift bags that you autographed and numbered. So it was a nice touch.
Yeah. So people obviously came in. The first thing I did was grab the little gift bags with their numbered, the numbered play mats and the trading cards, and I threw in some other fun stuff in there too. And then everyone dispersed to the tables to set up their cards, which like I couldn't believe it. So everyone was set up. There was money moving around. Trades were going down. It was freaking awesome.
I have
From
one
the
question.
outside
With
looking in, you could tell, right? It was you could tell it was going to be crowded, because I remember seeing your story while we were there, and it was like, get here quick because we're probably gonna have to close the doors down at 15 minutes
Once
after
I
we
saw
open.
the line, I was like, if you guys want to come in, you better get here because we're gonna hit capacity when the doors open, and we did. So
Pretty nuts. And just from a personal standpoint, I will tell you that the day after I was on the phone. I think Andrew, he was home, or you posted stories about some of the stuff that was going in the goodie bags. I had spent a couple weeks leading up to National putting together cigar night, and spent a lot of time and money and sweat equity on putting that together. And Andrew calls me. He's like, "Hey, you know who's doing things the right way? Laura Don Diego. You should see what she did for her event." And I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well, okay.
Well,
I tried my best, man."
I'll help you next time.
It was a that's a promise, by the way. Thank you. We're gonna take you up on that offer. But dude, it was a compliment to you, Cage, because I think first impressions of how you enter any event is like, I think it is a lasting impression, right? You walk in the door, you're greeted with something, and then if that something could be above and beyond that expectation to reality, you're already feel welcome. You're gonna have a good time. And here's something really cool: people are very reciprocal in nature, right? So when something good happens to them, they're going to give back, and they're going to pour that energy back into the room. And it's a subtle thing. And being in events and retail my whole life, I've learned that. And when other people do it, I'm like, damn, they got it. They get it. Because most people don't have that experience. They don't really necessarily understand why those little subtle details matter. But I think they're huge.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, we lost him.
Wow. That's what happens. Keep going. It happens all the
Okay.
time. It happened, Laura. I'll tell you. So we had Gary Vee on, right?
Oh, God.
And that's a big get. Like that takes a few weeks to
I could
to
imagine.
schedule. And we scheduled it in the morning before anything happens, before lunch. And midway through the episode, Cage drops us off, and Gary's like, "Oh, see you, Cage."
Oh,
And he
my
comes back
God.
on. He's like, "It's no problem." So
Isn't
it
he
happens.
like rich? Can he get Wi-Fi?
I think that's interesting. People think Cage is rich. Tell me all the other while he's gone. Let's do this. What are the other perceptions of Cage? So he's rich.
He's rich. What else is there? There's some good perceptions of him, but I'm not going to talk about the good ones. We got to talk crap while he's gone.
Well, that's
a
the branding
good
and marketing.
thing, though.
That's the branding and marketing we've done.
Oh, wow.
I'm the idiot, and he's the rich genius.
That sounds about right.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
What's the deal with Card Collector at 2 and your photos? There's always like this weird hand going on, and I saw it once. I thought it was just like,
I'm dead.
how did that happen?
So the first time was genuine. Like he genuinely did not want to touch me, so he cupped the air around my stomach. Very respectful. But I was posting the photo.
Very respectful.
I noticed it, and I zoomed in on it, and I was like, "Oh, you're back." I was like, "You hover-handed me, and then you did it again." Like, so now it's just become a thing of like hover-handing. It's his thing.
It's his thing. Okay, Cage. We talked a bunch of stuff while you were gone, by the way. I hope
I heard it all. You're the idiot, and I'm the rich genius. I was in the waiting room.
So, Laura, before this, one of my favorite things to do in the hobby, like I got a Jordan card that came in from PWCC. Shout out PWCC, PSA 6. I'm gonna crack this and I'm gonna send it to SGC. I tell my entire community I do it. I did it with a Jordan sold the game card. It was a PSA 6, came back SGC A5. Not because SGC is doing something crazy or PSA. They have a lot of cards and they make not even mistakes. It's just omissions. And I'm like, dude, this is a great way to make money, especially in a market that's not just going to the moon every day, right? We want to make money. This is what I like doing. And I'm like, our community loves it. And you're like, you did that and you got hate for it? Can you explain what? That
Yeah,
was and
so
why?
I graded a first edition Hollow Charizard at the National, dropped it with PSA, got it back the next day. I got a PSA 3. Honestly, I was expecting a 4 or 5. So just full disclosure, I wasn't expecting like an 8, a 9, or a 10. And I just wasn't happy with the grade. And it's a first ed Charizard, so I think it deserves a second shot. CGC's right there. I literally took it directly to CGC. They cracked it. Just got it back yesterday and posted that it got a CGC 6.5. So obviously that's a huge upgrade from a 3. But like it's knowledge that's like available on the internet. Like they grade differently. I think that's what people don't understand. Like they think I'm trying to cover up that I got, a PSA 3 and now it's this beautiful 6.5. Like I'm keeping you guys like in the loop with me or coming on the journey with me. It's all open knowledge too that CGC grades differently than PSA. PSA gives you fair, tough grades. That's the fact.
They beat up on Charizards too. I've had this theory for a long time.
They hate Charizard.
They know the value of cards. They're the only company that really upcharges people. When that Cage is smiling, he knows I'm going to get going. I'm going to lean in. They know the value of these cards. They're not idiots. And for them to go from a 3 to a 6 or a 7 is a huge upgrade. They know that financially. So they're going to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, listen, I don't know really. That's all like speculation. I know like they honestly have graded me pretty fairly up until they've graded me really, really tough for the past few returns that I've had. And has it been totally consistent? No, like I've graded the same card twice and gotten different grades. So see ya.
Oh, this is can you believe we've done 780 episodes of this?
I'm actually just happy that it's not me and that you guys blamed me for the shitty Wi-Fi last year. So put this on record. It is Cage, not Don Diego.
Did I ever blame you?
Yeah, you told me I lived in Hogwarts and I no Wi-Fi.
That's a compliment. That's actually a compliment. And then I was like, maybe Harry Potter cards are worth a look. It was a compliment.
Okay.
What's a misconception about Laura Don Diego that you would want people to know? Like, what is something that you're like, it's common knowledge, but no one knows it about you? I'm curious if there's something.
I don't know, honestly.
You're pretty open with your fans?
I think I'm pretty like transparent with who I am. Like I'm the same person that you'll meet at a show that I am in my videos that I am like right now with you guys. Literally my Instagram bio says like follow me along for the journey. Like I'm taking you like a window into my life. It's a pretty authentic journey that I take everyone on with. So misconception, you know what? Maybe the fact that they think I'm very outgoing in this when I'm really like a very quiet.
I'm going to add him back in. Cage, you're good. Don't worry about it. We're killing it.
Listen, I switched it over to a computer for you guys, and I love the conversation about about the grading and the cracking. And one of the things I'll just add into that, right, is it doesn't mean somebody's getting a favoritism on a grade. It doesn't mean she's doing anything for Laura untoward. As a matter of fact, I mean, perfect timing on this. And Andrew's a big fan of crack. And, just want to make sure everybody listening knows that. And, but he showed off some stuff that he got from PWCC today, right? And one of the cards was a die-cut Michael Jordan card, right? And it was a 7, a PSA 7. And you turned it over, you saw the edges, which happens a lot on die-cut cards. The edges were not so good. I think you're going to send that to SGC. And I was in the chat, talking to our fans and whatnot, but what I wanted to crack and sub. See, that's the thing. He has another box that's just cracked, but he's not going to show it on camera. So, but here's what's fun, right? I think you send that card to BGS because they're going to ding the edge grade, the subgrade on it, right? And they're not going to ding the rest of it. The corners are okay, as many corners as a die-cut card has. The surface is fine, you name it. And you might actually get a better grade. You might get a bad surface subgrade. I only bring that up because CSG the same way. If you guys go on their websites, whether it's SGC, PSA, you can find some guidelines about how people grade. And what Laura found out is on that particular card, maybe there was a surface issue, right? Maybe there was something in the hologram itself. Maybe there's a scratch near Charizard's face that PSA looked at and said, we have to really ding this. But CSG looked at it and said, hey, the overall condition of the card is better.
Yeah. They grade differently. And that's okay. And people just need to understand that grading companies grade differently. And that's why there are levels. And that's why we grade with PSA, or that's why people choose to grade with CGC or Beckett, whatever, so That's just the reality of it.
Before National started, you were like, "Welcome to my home state of Jersey, Jersey Shore,
Jeez,
blah blah
I
blah,
got-
MTV, Jersey."
It was
You
your
got a lot of
national.
mess-
It was yours.
Yeah,
It was your
It
national.
was all mine. Thank you guys for coming.
As someone who's grown up near Jersey, that's Jersey people. You know, they rep Jersey hard. They love Jersey, the North Jersey, South Jersey, all that.
Because we
How
get a
did
lot
the
of crap.
No,
because you're not New York and you're not Philly.
No, come on.
Facts.
Who wants to go to another state? I mean, not every state has DJs in Belmar.
Facts.
How was the National for you? Like high level, did it live up to expectations? Parking was terrible. We're not even going to talk about that. Let's put that aside.
Oh, I will give you my pros and my cons if that's how we want to lay it out.
Perfect.
Overall, it was amazing. I loved it. There was a lot less Pokemon than the Chicago National last year. That was the one thing that I did not like about the actual National. I feel like there was a lot of kind of like, excuse my language, like old junk wax. Like I feel like people were selling like stuff for like a 50 cents, took up the whole table in the middle of the thing. Like I feel like we got to get new people, like new vendors in there and like see something new for next year.
Well,
And
when you have people like Cage saying Mark McGuire cards are iconic, we're not going to get anything cool in.
I mean, the National has changed more in the last couple of years than it did probably in the 2 decades before it.
and this one was way different than the last one too. It really has changed. I think it needs more change. But like this year we saw like companies set up with like you guys saw like the Zero Cool booth doing like cool stuff like that with the vending machine. Like we didn't really see that last year in Chicago. It wasn't very like we didn't have those corporate kind of companies with experiences. So we saw more of that. I think it was pretty cool. My only thing really was there wasn't enough Pokemon. There wasn't enough for me to buy. And then the location. And that has nothing to do with like the actual National, but Atlantic City, oh my God. I don't think we could do that again.
You didn't
like,
you didn't stay in the Claridge?
Oh Jesus, did you?
No, but one of our guests did. I was shocked. I was like, "What?
God.
Like I know what's in your PC. Why were you staying?
Yeah.
Like I stayed at Tropicana, so it wasn't much better."
Right.
But
and I stayed at Harrah's and I grew up going to Harrah's. Like when I turned 21, I went to Harrah's, like we went to the pool. So I was like, this is going to be a safe bet. Let me tell you, there was a riot outside of the pool, like, you know, where the pizza places are, like every restaurant was booked. There was a full-on riot because we were trying to get a slice of pizza, hour and a half wait. And they go, we're out of food. And people are selling their slices, like reselling their slices to other people because we were all so hungry.
I mean, everybody. So 2 things she's leaving out, everyone. One, they didn't just say we're out of pizza. They're out of pizza. And by the way, Laura Don Diego's here signing autographs. And that's why there was a riot. In addition, I mean, Atlantic City is full of hobbyists. And it's the new fashion hobbyists. We are all entrepreneurs, as Eddie likes to call it from the Destiny. We're all entrepreneurs now. And of course, I got a slice of pizza. I'm selling it. There's somebody behind me. Well, it's a quick flip. Let's
Flipping
go.
that pepperoni slice.
Let's go. Flip the pepperoni. It's funny you say about Harrah's because I had the same thing. Like I used to go to Tropicana. I still have like my card. I haven't been there in 20 years. I'm like, oh, they got the quarter. They got the Cuban restaurant I like. I'm going to go. Oh my God, what a mistake. I mean, what a mistake.
Another thing. So you guys know my mom was there. It was her birthday, actually. So we wanted to take her out for her birthday. And we were like, you're going to have to roll with the punches here. Like it's going to get a little ratchet. We got a reservation at Doc's Oyster House. Thank God. It was a nice restaurant. But just AC, man, I just left being so hungry, so tired. Like I had to get an Uber from Harrah's to the convention back and forth every day. Like that adds up. You guys like, we don't want that added cost once we're already at the National and, you know.
But you're ready to go to more shows now. Like Cage and I probably won't go to another show for like 6 months. We're
September.
Let's
go.
Confirm.
I'm going.
The wife gave a thumbs up.
I'm going. I haven't brought it up yet, but it's going to be a thumbs up. I want to go to the industry summit in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I might do that too.
Which could be cool. I don't know how much Pokemon they're going to have there, but, you know, I'll bring some if you want.
Networking. Yeah, bring your collection.
So it's funny. I like the topic we're going on, and I definitely want to talk about National and your event. And, you know, why Andrew needs to hover the hand more, because there's
I just
hover
hug.
hand. It's
Women,
he's a hugger.
kids.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, easy on my waist, just hover the hand.
that's
there.
a
Shy
good hug.
held up shy
Like,
like a little baby in
I
front
said-
of me like this.
I said, take it easy on the chichos, brother. Like, take it easy here. Like hover the hand for me. But in any event, right, here's the deal. Maybe the National doesn't have to continue to swing corporate, right? Maybe what you're saying, like, maybe the National, I don't want to say this, right? But you've broken down some real barriers in the hobby. You had the first national, TCG trade night, and I'm sure it's gonna, continue down that road. But maybe, the folks who are at Gen Con or Comic Con wouldn't want us there encroaching with our Zions and Lukas and Giannis. And maybe the hobby is going to have more shows that maybe Mint Collective will have a bigger presence of corporate and TCG, or maybe the Dallas show or the Philly show or the Chantilly show, or maybe something like that. Like the National, and maybe this is where I get to be the crusty old man and, defend, the people who are gray like me in the hobby, right? And it's the National's been that, and it has changed tremendously. I would push back on significantly more corporatization of it. It's cool. It's fun. I like the carpet. Don't get me wrong on that. I love the carpet, right? So I'll take that corporate change. But there are dudes who show up, and this is the one show they go to per year, to sit at a table with an old yellowed out binder, filling in their 1974 set that it's taken.
Is this going in the pro or the con column?
I'll put it in the pro for some people, con for others. But the hobby has to have that, right? It can't be you guys had this guest on, I'm never listening to you again. Okay, that's your prerogative, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to have on all of the guests, the people who like the corporate encroachment, and there are some people who have told us it gets too corporate. There are some people who told us they don't like cards. I mean, like, some of our guests say weird things. But anyway, it's a different take on it, right? And I love what you're doing. And I have a million questions for you about how success comes with a target and hatred that's not deserved. I mean, I have so much I want to talk to you about, but the National, maybe it's never going to be a Pokemon or a modern or corporate thing. Maybe this is just the National.
Just a healthy mix of everything. Like, and National's my top show to go to every year. It's like the thing I look forward to. It's just, 5 days. And then I couldn't really find anything to buy until like the last day because I wanted to buy something.
Right.
And it might be totally different next year. Like it was last year. Like I had to fly home. I had to get an extra bag to fly home last year with everything I bought. So I think just like a healthy mix of the old school, the new school, the Pokemon, the sports. There were a ton of not like non-sports cards too that were there that were really interesting. Like the Marvel cards and Fortnite. Like
Andrew's good at event planning, and I think what he would tell you, and especially with the success you had with the official trading night and all the TCG trade night, I think that what the National could do to kind of make it a little bit better of experience is how they're segmenting the stuff, right? Like maybe there's a couple of corporate areas, maybe they have the breaking area. We had somebody come on, who was it, Andrew, who told us about like the high end, right? I mean, like you do like
basketball card guy John.
Basketball card guy John.
Instead of booth number 2044, it's like TCG, corporate, breaks, lower end basketball, lower end sports, higher end sports.
Like your casino you walk through, like it has the high end slot room.
Breakfast section.
Yeah.
Please,
that could be, the TCG non-sport, and when you go there and that's your thing, that's your area. I mean, you can obviously venture out and do whatever you do, but here's this segment where these rows, this corner, this area is going to be where the TCG breaks and the content and the trades and all that stuff.
I like
instead
that.
Of maybe
I
that's.
like that. And I also agree with Andrew that we need better food. Like there has to be a food area. I'm sorry.
If it wasn't for collectible, I wouldn't have eaten a meal.
Like I'm still hungry.
Something. I mean, maybe like something.
Ma, where's the chicken and peppers?
So Cage, but let's just use you and I. And the old meets the new is something that I'd urge not only our community to realize is valuable. I would urge the hobby to realize it's valuable. And I'll use our dynamic, right? Sometimes you call me a naive millennial. Yeah. I'm a dreamer, right?
A hobby peasant.
That's different. So I have that.
You've been called a slob, not by me.
I have that.
Have been.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't hurt. It's just accurate. Things that hurt are the ones that are Anyway, so Cage, like
Share, Andrew. Let's change this episode into a therapy session. Tell us what
that naivety of being a kid and believing in all these like grandiose things. But then you also ground me into like, this is how it is. This is why things are the way they are. So you have that old guard meets the new guard, and look at what we've created. We have a beautiful community that loves a combination of the new and the old.
Well, the flip side is the old doesn't know what it needs to change. Like I have the easy.
I don't think you guys want to change.
Well, that's
you guys are so.
I say, oh, this is how it's always been. But I like the ideas that you come up with, and it's like, hey, what if you just did this? You have to be open to it. But trust me, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you every second.
You guys remind me so much of like me and my brother. So he's 7 years older than me. So my ideas have to go through him first, and he's like, "That's an awful idea." This, and I was like, "Well, you're old. Like things are changing."
Every idea Andrew's had, I said was awful, and some of them have actually turned out to be our best ideas.
Here's what happens. At first, I have that reaction too, but then you learn. Well, he's poking holes. What if I could explain this better? What if I could explain this differently? It's trial by fire. Cage said you have a target on your back. So I never realized you get the hate. I thought like you went from I think a few thousand followers, you're at 28,000. So I'm like, this chick is killing it. You get a lot of praise. People want your autograph. So that's my perception.
Hello? Women of the hobby? He didn't mean anything when he called her a chick. I'm sorry. He'll say he's sorry.
Done.
He'll say he's sorry.
Chick is not a mean word at all. So do you feel like you have a target on your back?
Listen, like I will say 95% of the community is so nice and so welcoming. Honestly, it's that 5% of like those, sorry to drop this word again, like those incel jealous men that hate to see the success in under a year. Like I get it. I'd hate that too. But like just to like without knowing me, and like you said, Andrew, it's like not, it's the stuff that's true that doesn't hurt. It's the stuff that's not true that's said about you that hurts, because I've built a pretty reputable brand for myself over the past year and a half, barely. It's a very small family-run business. It's literally just me and my brother, and I'm a very honest, transparent person on the internet, and I have a very loyal following because they trust me. And you know, if you come to any of my live streams, like you're gonna get to know me. You can ask me anything, and we sit there and we'll talk for 4 hours. Like it's, my business is like so much less transactional and more about building and growing in the hobby and like connecting with the community.
So we'll stick with the hate in a second, Andrew, because I got a bunch of questions on this. But more importantly is you have a lot of telephone tough guys and keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah.
Was anybody in person a
No.
hater?
No. We were at the National and my brother would be like, "Hey, it's the dude that said this, this, and this." Just
he knows?
Looked at you, watched.
Of course.
He is like the master of like knowing, putting a face to like the name. If I met you 5 times, I probably will still say nice to meet you for the first time. I'm so bad at it. He sees them. He's my older brother too. Like he probably has a list, by the way, at this point. So watch out, everybody. He saw a couple of guys at the National.
He showed it to me.
Yeah,
you're on the top of it. You're right here, number one. Keep this guy away.
They don't say anything, and they will never say anything. And God forbid they do leave their house and they go to a show, like they're not going to say anything.
It's amazing how that happens. And by the way,
really
that's
is.
Every guest.
I could ask you anything.
Huh?
You can
Why
ask me
did you
anything.
not tag Shy Way in your story post when you were at Red Bull Arena with him?
What's his issue with me?
Did you see him at National? Because I gotta tell you, I didn't even see him. I saw his partner, but I didn't
is
see
that
him.
a thing? I didn't tag him in a story.
I saw his beret, his red beret.
What? Oh yeah, I saw that. Wait, I didn't even know that. I don't even think I took a photo with him. Why would I tag him?
It's a very good question. I love the
I
man.
thought you were going to ask something. I don't even know.
I didn't know where he was going either. That was not. I would never have bet money that was going to be
Actually,
the question.
you know what's funny?
A marriage proposal, I would have thought before.
Yeah, I thought you were
that
going to ask me
question.
out on a date or something.
Yeah,
I was getting
exactly.
ready. I was like, fixing my hair.
She's like, I told you I'm hungry. Right now, I'd say yes to anyone as long as there's a meal involved.
Yeah. No, that was out of. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither.
Well,
I didn't make any content with him. I barely talked to him. All I remember is he commented on my post and was like, LOL, you got your content and just left. And I replied, LOL, I was here the entire time and got set up before you. It was very odd.
Here's what I would say about this entire topic, right? And Shyway Vlogs, Shyway Vlog, he's had some real success in building out, a persona and getting followers and the whole deal too. And I think a lot of it is just, shtick. But it's human nature, so don't take it personally. So the folks who are coming at you, the folks who are saying this, I can tell you just from personal experience, the thought process goes like this. I'm working harder than these people are. I'm working just as hard. I'm better at this than they are.
I promised you wouldn't say anything.
I
told you that in confidence.
Work just as hard. I work harder. I'm better at this. Why is it that this person is having this success and not me? And there's nothing wrong with that because I think it's a motivator. But let it stop there, folks. Like, let it just be a motivator so that you can work harder and you can continue to do what you're doing. When it bleeds into this person is doing it unfairly or this person's getting this advantage and it starts to become conspiracy theories to justify your own kind of, inadequacy, if I can throw it out there, that's where it kind of goes across the line. But don't blame people for it. That people are sitting at home thinking, I could do this. Sure. What's so great about her? But you know what? No one else did.
Yeah. No one else is. And let me tell you, the hours are literally from the minute you wake up till you go to sleep if you want to be successful and consistent.
I mean, people don't see that, right? People think, okay, she's just going to come on and she's going to go and hide a autograph of herself somewhere in a canyon. And there's another 3,000 followers. I mean, there's thought process that goes into this stuff. That's a whole shtick. It now carries over, hiding items in different locations. I mean, there's
but at least I actually give them this, it's not like I'm doing it for wrong reasons or whatever. I did that at Gen Con too, and some guy found it in the magazine I hid, and now I'm sending my holo hit to him. It's just a fun, unique way to give back to the community while also getting your name out there. What the hell?
Doesn't Ian do that with Pokemon Go? He walks around and he captures it's Pokemon Go by law. We always do this towards the end of the episode. Is there anyone you were walking around the show, you met a ton of people, some friends, some people, some newer people, anyone you want to give flowers to, anyone that you're they're doing it well, or anyone that's I really love what they're doing, I want to use this platform, this time to give them a shout out?
I feel like I always say the same person, but that's because
Jess.
I've seen this person grow in front of my own eyes from where we both were a year ago till now. And it's Jess. She hasn't stayed the same. She has grown literally so much, and she has remained the nicest person. She tries to include me in anything. If she gets a deal, I'm the first person that she thinks of. And while we have completely different worlds of sports and Pokemon, we always find a way to kind of work together and help each other and build each other up. She has been a great friend, a great person to look up to, and just really nice. She's always fun to hang out with. And we did some filming together at the National, and there's very few people, I feel over the course of a year in a hobby, that change with you and follow your success, and then they don't get mad at you. I don't know.
A running mate, someone who you guys are parallel. You're not really in the same business, but you're going through similar stuff. Exactly. Okay, but not a New Jersey person. By the way, Breaks by Jess is the
Breaks
person.
by Jess. Yeah, she's my girl.
But not a New Jersey person. It has to be non-New Jersey now.
She's not New Jersey. She's New York.
Just give him flowers, Laura. Just tell Andrew what a great job he's doing. He's fishing. He's fishing for the flowers.
You think it was for me, Cage?
No, but it's funny. If I go down that road, it's funnier for the episode.
It could be this person who puts on this event in San Diego called Comic-Con that I think is a sick event. And if you guys are in sports, you should check it out. There, I just did it for you.
I mean, that's great. It's wonderful.
Because now I have to be careful because it's definitely going to be a guy, and now it's going to get misconstrued if I give him flowers.
Isn't that amazing? We ask guys, and they're like, okay, well, you actually have to think about that. And it's a good lead. This way we can switch you away. This way you're not giving the wrong impression of someone, and also not leaving somebody out. And then, wow, they asked you, and then, why didn't you say me? And I mean, it's a little I can understand, and it's an amazing thing, right? Sometimes we have to put ourselves into the shoes of the people that we're asking the questions to. And I would never even thought about that, but you're 100% right. Women in the hobby. that is a new growing thing. And I sometimes ask questions like we had Christina's PC on, and I was like, "Yeah, she's here for winning the hobby," and she was like, "I should just be here for being in the hobby, not being women in the hobby."
Yeah,
She
I
gave
said
me like
that to you guys too. You know, like I don't ever participate, and no offense, love them, girl, but I'm a person in the hobby that got here not because of like my looks or being a girl or taking the card of like, woe is me, I'm a girl, like, this is so tough. It's literally been amazing. Like I've had the best time growing in the hobby. Everyone's been so supportive, male, female. And again, like whenever people ask me that, what's it like being a woman in the hobby? I feel like they're looking at me like I'm an alien with like 2 heads and like no feet. Like I'm just a person.
Just trying to make your way, right? I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think about it like this. So I have a younger sister. She's 10 years younger. And I think we both have different skills and advantages to being a male versus a female. And I'm like, you should know what your skills are, your advantages are, and you should use that to your in your favor. No, am I thinking about it all wrong? Like
I don't like. What are the? I guess I'm prettier than my brother, so that's why my face is on the live streams and not him. No, Cage.
I don't know. I like him. I like him a lot. See, somebody's got your back, Len.
Yeah. Make sure he listens to this podcast.
Somebody's got your back.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Andrew, listen, we celebrate our differences, but sometimes our differences also become a dividing factor. And I think it also, is something where, Laura wants to separate herself from that because it is part of that making it an easy target, right? I mean, it's very easy for, moron men to say she's only able to get the following. She's only able to do X, Y, and Z because of who she is and what she looks like, which is kind of bullshit,
Yeah.
And
Does that really bothersome? Like, but you're like, I'm winning. I'm doing well.
True. Like, it doesn't bother me because if you just look at my Instagram and watch my content, like it's so knowledgeable and has quite literally nothing to do with what I look like that I just laugh that off. Like, that's insane to me.
I think you have a good eye for design and style. And like, I remember Cage and I used to argue about how clean our feed was, but I always looked at your feed and I was like, not this one post by itself works. It's the story and how they're all kind of connected to each other that work really well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, like in my bio, it says follow my journey. Like it all tells a story. Like I'm trying to like keep everybody along with me in a like sequential story of my journey in the hobby, like my very authentic journey in the hobby.
And opening eyes up to people, in the hobby that there are other things. I mean, you were one of the first to be doing Fortnite stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're right. It's not what you are or what you look like. You name it. Like we can have an argument now over why I think Meowth is a better cat than Persian.
Oh.
And we can, but you see that face, and Andrew's like, "Wow, what the hell does that even mean?" You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, she knows her stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what you get from, if you are a Pokemon person, you go to that channel, this is somebody who you're watching who actually knows what she's talking about.
And that's what I pride myself on. Like, you can come to my channel, trust that the knowledge and information I'm giving you is authentic, it's real. And I have a lot of other different interests. It's not just Pokemon, it's video games, it's sports cards, it's Marvel, it's Star Wars now. Like, I'm starting to open baseball. Like, it's all like the journey that I'm just bringing everybody along with.
Baseball, be careful. Andrew says it's dead in 20 years, so be careful with opening baseball.
A little tier 1.
Tier 1.
We'll see.
Have I ever told you that I had cats in college, Cage? Have I
No.
told you the cat story?
No,
I'm a little traumatized. So
I wouldn't trust you to raise plants. So now you're telling me you have cats? Do
I have
they
a few
eat?
buddies from college that listen to this. I think they would actually agree. Not only would they agree, they've said that to my face, but I don't think the story actually helps me in my favor. But my first cat was Mombi.
Let's go. Your first cat was what?
My first cat was Mombi. Mombi, like little, like baby Mamba, like baby Kobe.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And then one of my roommates, Costa Rica guy, had to go back to Costa Rica, so he had a little baby cat, and it was called Callie. So he was like, "Hey, can you take this one in?" And I said, "Okay." So I had this little baby one, Callie, and Mombi, who was like a grown cat, and I introduced them to each other. And what happened? Callie was the cutest. I actually preferred Callie more than Mombi towards the end.
Damn.
But Callie got sick, and in the fecal matter of the older cat, the younger cat got sick, and he passed away. I had to take him to the vet.
What?
Yeah. It was one of the saddest days of my life. They had to put him down right there in the veterinary
Oh my
hospital.
God.
It was like 2 a.m. It hadn't eaten in weeks. It was just this little baby kitten, and I was so
That's
sick. I took such
heartbreaking.
good care of it, and it still passed away. And I was just traumatized, and ever since then, I haven't had pets.
So we can't trust you with another living being, is what we're getting from this.
And I was worried that
joke.
I was
Because it's a
worried
dead cat. But I mean, God.
I was worried that would be the stigma. I wish I was
Yeah.
caught on content or camera how well I did take care of it.
Oh my
Cause of death, cat shit. Wonderfully done, Andrew.
Yeah, that story was something. I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, almost 800 episodes in, I love learning new shit about you, man. Because I can imagine I'm going to go back in my time machine with the 1.21 gigawatts, and I'm going to see Andrew with like a little like water droplet, like taking care of this cat, and then
Oh
it's
my
still
God.
dying anyway, and you all upset at the vet's office. Like, I get it. I get where your head was when you told the story, but there are going to be 1,500 people who listen to this in the next 24 hours, maybe more, because Laura brings an audience, and all they're going to hear is that you killed a cat with another cat's cat shit.
And you know
Oh
what's
my
even
God,
worse
Dad.
is this was like in the middle of my like entrepreneurial journey, and people don't see this, right? They see the success, they see our sponsors, but they don't see the struggles. I had no money then,
Right.
so I
And
had
at
to
the time,
borrow
Yeah.
money to pay.
he was
for
running
the vet bill.
a cat healthcare business. He was
Think about
running.
this picture.
I
It
can't
didn't
believe
go
I didn't
well.
know this about you.
I'm gonna do big things in business. Like I'm gonna kill it. I'm struggling. I'm not doing well at all, and I have to borrow money to put down this cat that I took responsibility for. One of the lowest points. One of the lowest
Yeah.
points.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
Well, guys,
That'll do it.
I don't know. Do we end the episode on that, or we're going to have a couple of suicides here at the end of the show? I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing in the audience
Yeah,
here,
now
man?
I'm thinking about my cats passing away.
Well done, Andrew.
I think this
Well
is a
done.
valuable episode. Laura, where can
See
people
why
find if they're
you
not
should
following
give him
you?
the flowers when he asks? This
Yeah,
is smart.
Andrew, you get my flowers. You get it. You
Done.
get it.
If somebody were to ask you out on a date,
Oh my God!
what restaurant
Just-
in Jersey is your favorite?
Quit while you're ahead, man. You cat killer, you.
I didn't
My
say it.
favorite.
Yeah.
Do you guys know? Oh, I don't know if you know. It's in Asbury Park. It's called Taka. It's really good sushi, but it's a very awkward date spot because the sushi's so big that it kind of gets stuck in your throat a little bit. So maybe
Epic.
ask them to cut it in half if you go on a date there.
Content team, you have your work cut out for you.
Oh.
There's a bunch of clips in this episode. Laura Don Diego, Luca Nation, you guys never know what you're gonna get here. None of these episodes are scripted. Cage and I've recorded it's like 15 this week, so obviously we're maybe floating in the sky. But I appreciate you jumping on. I know you don't do a lot of these, so thank you. I hope you had
Of
fun.
course.
Any
You
final
should do
words?
more. You should do more. I mean, I remember speaking to you when it all kind of started, and
Yeah.
you're very comfortable now. You can
I
tell.
am.
I mean, and maybe it's because of the success. Maybe that
Well,
breeds a
it's
little bit of
also
confidence.
you guys are like it really feels like you guys
We're
are
idiots.
family, and we all just have a lot of fun. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, maybe I'll even start my own podcast one day. Who knows? So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll have you guys on my show.
Done. Book it.
What would you talk
Yeah.
about? Like, would it be TCG or would it be like
I would
call her
like it
daddy
to
vibes
be-
or what?
Oh, honestly, I was just gonna say like a little bit of both. Like this, I feel like we got to just have fun, laugh, talk about other things. Like I do not want to sit here for an hour and talk about like where the market's going. I'm sorry, everyone's doing that. It's super boring. I want to talk about like my guest, what your favorite food is, what your favorite restaurant is, like the cat story, amazing, like heartbreaking, but like hey, we got to know a little more about you. So
Look,
a little bit of
Diego's
Pokemon.
new podcast. We bring you dead cats and extra large sushi.
That cat
Tune
was
in next
horrible.
week.
Oh my god, cats and sushi. That's actually an amazing idea.
I mean, I think there's a restaurant in Staten Island. That's the name of it. Actually, it's an Asian
Why?
food
Because
place.
they probably cook like
You said it. I mean, I'm just
So
This is
when
getting
COVID
crazy.
first started, people don't even remember this. This is how long ago this feels like, but I think you will. Are you a Sophia or an Alex?
Alex.
Wow.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
I'm the successful business person that makes the right decisions. No
Do you remember
offense.
that when
Sophia.
COVID first hit? That was
I remember
Like
I was walking around my cul-de-sac like 10 times because the gyms weren't open, anything. And I was listening to the podcast with Dave Portnoy talking about all of it. And I was like, holy crap, like that's one relationship, one podcast that was super successful. It was going in all the right directions. And then I think they just got a little greedy, or one person got a little bit greedy, made a wrong decision, and kind of screwed it up for everybody. So you too.
Paige,
Don't
so
do it.
what I loved about that was
I'm already rich and he's already an idiot, so we're fine.
that was a culture and business and relationship. There's actually a lot more advice there now that I use. Like, Cage, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it? What's our tagline when we first started? What did we say to each other? You won't believe.
Oh, well, that's for my
Go
dad.
ahead.
Yeah, you won't believe how much you can accomplish if it doesn't matter who's getting credit for it.
I like that.
And it
Yeah,
really
it's a
hit
team
home.
thing. My father used to say that to me all the time. Because, you play team sports and you do all that
Yeah.
stuff. And it's basically like, you could win as long as there's nobody
funny, I just realized
credit for
something.
winning. Yeah, shoot.
Me and my brother, when we first started this, first, we got into this argument. I think it was on like Christmas, and it was who was doing more. And I saw it as like, well, I'm doing this, so like I get this. And he's like, it's not. He just made me like realize very quickly, like what you just said, Cage. Like, it's literally not about who does what. It's about how successful we are together and how we can balance each other out. And it's not a matter of who's doing 60%. Even if I'm doing 90%, like I would not be here without him, and he wouldn't be here without me. And that's literally all that matters.
I mean, it's good stuff. We've had a few other taglines since, like having fun, building a
is
better
more fun
hobby.
than fun is fun.
He says winning is more fun than fun is fun. But then I ask him what winning means, and he still can't define.
Well, he's very competitive, and so am I. Like, if I don't win something, it'll ruin my whole ass day. Like, I need to win. I'm a very competitive person too.
I think it stems for me from insecurity, Cage. I hate to lose, but I flipped that. I flipped my I hate to lose to I love to win now.
I've been married 18 years. I'm a professional loser. That's what keeps me married.
You're the best. Laura, we're gonna have you back on for the Godfather 1, 2, series 3. Well, actually, we had series 3.
No, we're not doing a 3. We'll just skip to 4. Godfather 3 is an abomination. It's not happening. Oh my God, it's the worst movie ever made.
Is it because the other two were just that good?
I mean, that's part of it. And when you have so much to work with, it's like the Sopranos sequel thing they did, prequel, which was just awful. They shouldn't have done either,
You picked something up at National with The Sopranos, right?
Yeah, so I bought The Sopranos for PlayStation. I forgot which one it was, PS2, I think. Sealed, dropped it off at WADA. I will get that back, and maybe I'll just tell you guys. I'm going to go to Tony Soprano's house up in North Caldwell and rip it. Show the grade right there in front of everyone. Hopefully I don't get kicked out. I know you can't put your foot on the driveway. But
get kicked out, just go to Satriali's.
Yeah, right? Stuff my face with a little gabagool.
A little gabagool. That's it.
How do you play Sopranos the game? Like, is it like you run away?
You shoot people, clearly.
I bet you're killing quite a bit of people.
Clearly. I'm sure you're shooting people.
Remember I was binge watching Sopranos and I texted you, Cage. I was like, you kind of remind me of this guy.
Yes.
Dude, Cage could be in The Sopranos like today.
That's it. He sends me a picture of Tony Soprano with the cigar. He doesn't realize, though, it's when he's outside, basically having that whole season with the duck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that was horrible. Like, that was almost as bad as when he did the whole peyote thing, which, of course, is Andrew's favorite season.
I'm on season 3. I'm rewatching the whole thing right now. I'm on season 3, so I love it. I could watch it every day. I do watch it every day.
Last question, if someone's out there, what's your Grail card? What's a card you're chasing right now?
Actually, it's funny. Someone asked me this on my live stream the other day. This is my Grail card. I have my Grail card. It's got the Persian on it. Cage, you see it?
Yep.
Bump it. Get a black label.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think there's only 2 in the world. But my other Grail card, actually, surprisingly, is going to be a Magic the Gathering card. It's called Time Walk. It's a very strong playable card. Pretty sure it's banned. But I want to get one, and I want to get it graded. But these Magic people, like, they just keep them in like little penny sleeves, like a $40,000 card. It's just no top loader, just sitting there. Like,
I saw you post with that. It's like $37,500 in a penny sleeve.
Yes, because they play with it. They're not like grading it to get like value. Like they're putting it in their decks and they're playing people with it. So that's why they kind of are just like.
I'm gonna do that. There's a comic store over here. They do like the Pokemon battles and stuff. I'm just gonna show up there with like my first edition 10 set in slabs and start playing them in the PSA slabs. Be like, there you go. That'd be great.
Please do it.
Played Magic the Gathering as a kid?
Oh no. So I started playing. My brother taught me a couple years ago, and I just picked it back up the past 2 years, and now I'm trying to build an actually like really good playable deck that I could play with. So I'm trying to learn Commander. I just bought tickets to Magic 30 today. That is in end of October in Vegas, so I'm going to be going there. I think it's one of the biggest Magic events that exist. So it's going to be my first time going, and I need to, step my game up, play so I could beat Post Malone. I'll beat Cassius. I'll be the top Magic.
Gunnar, you hear this? We have guests on that do some of the things that you like to do too. Love you, Gunnar.
But more importantly, if you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, I could do what she does, just listen to the last couple of minutes we just talked about. So this is not just Pokemon. It's not just buying cards with cats on them because it sounds funny. This is Wata gaming. This is video games. It is VHS tapes. It is learning to play Magic and then going to the tournaments and building a playable deck. It's expanding your horizons and providing value to an ever-growing audience. Good for you.
That's perfectly said. Thank you.
Love you, Luca Nation.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mai. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is, 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com, or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.